Hey folks, this is John. I just want to encourage you as you're spending time away from people right now. I know that's hard. I want to see more of you. I want to be able to come into your homes and visit you, or I want to see you here at the office or at the church and worshiping together. But even though we're by ourselves, or I'm with my family, or I'm here at the office, I know that, and you know that you're not separated from God. God is with you. That's why we're always encouraged to pray without ceasing. We're always encouraged to just have an open dialogue with the Father. But we can be encouraged by remembering what Jesus went through as he was approaching the crucifixion. We know that he endured a lot during the crucifixion, but even as he was approaching the crucifixion, he endured. Remembering the days before the crucifixion and the way that Jesus endured can help us endure by knowing that Jesus knew what he was going to face, and he didn't run from it. He didn't hide from it. Jesus prepared for the Passover, knowing that he would be the Passover lamb, and yet he allowed himself to face it, and allowed himself to be our sacrifice. That's how much he's loved us. Listen to his knowledge of what was going to happen and his willingness to not try to slow down the plans of man or the plans of his heavenly Father, our Father. Matthew 26, verse 1 and 2, it says, "When Jesus had finished saying all these things, he said to his disciples, 'As you know, the Passover is 2 days away.'" That's what they knew. And then he continues, "And the Son of Man will be handed over to be crucified." I don't know if they fully understood that Jesus was going to be crucified, but he had been telling them this before. I think it was good that Jesus just acknowledged it, that he was willing to talk about it. He didn't try to hide from it. He knew what he was about to face. Then later in verse 3, it continues, but starts to talk about what the priests were doing, the chief priests. Then the chief priests and the elders of the people assembled in the palace of the high priest, whose name is Caiaphas, and they plotted to arrest Jesus in some sly way and kill him. "But not during the feast," they said, "or there may be a riot among the people." Notice that the chief priests and the elders knew some of what they wanted to do. They were discussing a way to arrest Jesus and in some sly way kill him. Nice guys, huh? They did not know about Judas yet. They did not know when they would arrest him. They didn't want to just arrest him in the temple because there could be a riot. And they didn't know how they were going to kill him. Now here before we see in the passage that Jesus knew that he was going to be crucified, but they didn't know that yet. They didn't talk about that. They just plotted. They just plotted among themselves. And it is interesting that they plotted among themselves how to get rid of this false Messiah, and yet they didn't go to God. They didn't go in their prayers and say, "Father, how can we get rid of this false Messiah?" They just made their own plans. At the same time, while they were making these plans, they knew they had some limitations, as I spoke earlier. They didn't want to just arrest Jesus in the temple. They wanted to do it slyly, and the reason for that was because they were afraid the disciples of Christ, the followers of Christ, would riot over it and cause all kinds of problems then for the priests because they couldn't control their people. Jesus knew what was about to take place. Now, he didn't control those who were plotting against him. He didn't manipulate them. He did not stir up his followers to protect him. As a matter of fact, Jesus just trusted his Father. Years ago, a man by the name of Parker was traveling through South Alabama on a hot day. He stopped at a watermelon stand, picked out a watermelon, and asked the proprietor how much it cost. "It's $1.10, he replied. Parker dug into his pocket and only found a bill and said, all I have is $1. "That's okay," the seller said. "I'll trust you for it." Well, that's very nice of you, Parker responded, and picking up the watermelon started to leave. Hey, where are you going? The man behind the counter demanded. I'm going outside to eat my watermelon. But you forgot to give me the $1. You said you would trust me for it, Parker called back. Yeah, but I would trust you for the dime. Sir, Parker replied, you did not trust me at all. You were just going to take a 10-cent gamble on my integrity. Do you trust God a bit? Or are you all in? Jesus trusted the Father completely, and you can too. Now, this video will be shown on Southwest Christian Church's website and Facebook page. Now, we don't know how long we will not be able to assemble to worship together, but yet you can get a hold of us if you need us or you just want to talk. You can call or talk on the phone or text or email or just stop by the office. I'm available. We also have a locked mailbox inside the foyer that you can drop off your tithes, or you can mail them to the building, to the address. Remember our missions. A lot of our missions are taken out of that, are supported out of the tithe. The elders and deacons are available by phone or email. But remember this, that you are the church of Jesus Christ, wherever you are. Wherever you are, you can worship God. I want to encourage you to get some grape juice and some unleavened bread and remember what Jesus suffered for us. I know the gathering is so important to encouraging each other, praying together, meeting around the Lord's table and remembering what Jesus has done for us, singing and the fellowship. But this is where we're at right now. And we need to be continuing to pray for our president and pray for one another. And if you hear of anybody that's got the virus, let us know, and we'll sure be praying for them. Anybody in your family, or I know you've got families that are all around the United States, and some states are now making people stay at home, and we may be forced to do that too. I don't know, but I think if we remain separated and try to keep each other away from gathering with more than 10 people, I think that'll slow down this pace of the virus. At least that's what they're telling us. But rejoice in the Lord always. Again, Paul said, rejoice. Love you. Have a great day.